Hi everybody, so today we're going to be taking a look at the Tarot Baby. This does come with the NRG SE tank on it. This is by Vaporesso. This has a 2500 milliamp hour internal battery. It does go under the super play mode, which is one of their modes. I'll show you down below. It will fire as low as a 0.03 resistance all the way up to a 5 ohm resistance. It does go from 5 watts to 85 watts, and it does come with the tank on it, which is great. The tank does hold 4.5 milliliters of e-liquid. It does have that 4.0 Omni board chip in it, which means that it will fire in 0.002 seconds of pressing the fire button. So as soon as you press it, it fires. It's really, really easy. It also has smart wattage recognition, which is another key feature that I really, really love. So I'm going to tell you more about it down below. Being that it does have an internal battery, you can charge it. It's got 2 amp charging, and if it's dead, it'll fully charge in about an hour and a half. So I did want to mention that before I forget, because sometimes I forget about the charging part. But yeah, so let's go ahead and go down, and I'm going to talk more about the Tarot Baby. Okay, so here we are with the Vaporesso Tarot Baby. It does come with the NRG SE tank. This is the packaging that it comes in. It does say Vaporesso there. On the back, it's going to give you some specifications as well as what the product contains. The mod itself is 70.3 by 42.1 by 25 millimeters. Your output wattage is 5 to 85 watts. Your LED display is going to be 0.96. And your resistance range is a 0.03 to 5 ohms, and that is in super player mode. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. Your tank is actually 26 millimeters by 48.5, and it does hold 4.5 milliliters of e-liquid. And when you open it up, this is actually the sample packaging as far as I can tell, because I have seen some other packaging which looks a little bit different. So this is the sample. You're going to get the mod. If you look at it really, really close, yes, it's a fingerprint magnet. I've already got fingerprints all over this. It's like a little face, like I don't know, like an angry face or something. It's kind of cool. It comes in 5 different variations. It is quite small. If you notice, it fits right in the hand. It's sort of like the Tarot Nano. So this is the mod. And then of course it does come with the tank. And then underneath here, you're going to get a goodie box. And in the goodie box, you are going to get your USB charging cord, which I always love. You're going to get an extra coil. This is actually the C-Cell, the GT C-Cell coil, which is like a ceramic coil. And this one is the 0.5 ohms. And yeah, so this one actually you can vape between, I want to say it's 25, it's kind of hard to read it, 25 to 35, I think it is. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to open it up in a second. I do want to go over the warning card though. There you go. Here's your warning card. Now the retail version is going to have a lot more than just this in it, but this is the warning card that it comes in this packaging. And then let's go ahead and open this further. Again, this is the extra coil. Oop, take that out. This is what it looks like. That's that ceramic coil inside. You see that? It's ceramic, and if I'm not mistaken, it does have like the organic cotton right around it. It's one of their famous coils. And yeah, it looks to be 25 to, I want to say that's 30 watts. It's really, really hard to see it. 25 to 30 watts or 50 watts. Sorry about that, but I'm not using this coil. I actually like the other coil, which I'm going to show you. The other coil is the mesh coil. This is the GT mesh coil. It is a 0.18 ohm coil. And this is the NRG SE tank. So it's not just the NRG, but it's the NRG SE tank. It does say Vaporesso so there. It's got removable drip tip, and they do suggest opening it. When you remove the drip tip, it makes it a little bit easier to grip and swivel back. That's where you're going to fill it. It's not too big, but it's not too small either. So you would just pour your e-liquid down that side, close it back up, put your drip tip back on. That's it. And this is 20, let me see. This holds 4.5 milliliters of e-liquid. You do have airflow on the bottom. It is on a stopper. Whatever you do to one side, it does happen to the other. And this is the bottom where it's going to say designed and manufactured by Vaporesso. And this is the NRG SE Tank Mega. Mega because it holds 4.5 milliliters of e-liquid. They do make it TPD compliant where you can get it where it'll hold 2 mils of e-liquid. To take out your coil or to clean it, what you're going to do is just unscrew the base. This is where you're going to get your coil out and you can change it out. This will fit any of the NRG coils. This is actually the 0.18 ohms and this is good from 50 to 85 watts. This is the one that I love. It's the mesh coil. I love, love, love these coils. I actually have some for my other tanks that I have, and I just keep getting the mesh ones because I really, really like the flavor on them. Whenever you're screwing back your coil, one thing you do want to do is you want to turn it the opposite way until it grips the threading and then turn it the right way. That way you won't have any leaking, and I'm not talking about that this leaks. I'm talking about any sub-ohm tank that you get that has screw-in coils. You definitely want to do that because I do get a lot of messages regarding leaky tanks, and that's usually what happens. So what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to go ahead and prime this up, and then while it's priming, we'll talk about the mod. So as usual, to prime up your coil, what you're going to do is you're going to put some e-liquid on the outside of the cotton here. And then what I do is I do put some drips on the outside here so that it will actually start helping it soak it up. And that's it, just a little bit there. And then we're going to put it back together and we're going to fill it and then put it aside. Okay, just tighten that on. Take off your drip tip. Yes, I do know that I spilled a little bit of e-liquid here. Take off the drip tip, find your arrow, push it back, and let's fill it up. Okay, so there we go. And for today, I'm actually using my Royal Cocktail. This is sort of like a pina colada type of flavor. It's got pineapple and coconut and pear. It's really, really good. So if you haven't tried it, yeah, that's one of those flavors. And I'll leave the links down below. But there you go. Gonna go ahead and put that aside and we're gonna talk about the mod. Again, this is the Taro Baby. It is very similar to the size of the Taro Nano. You're gonna get a spring-loaded 510 pin. This is 114 millimeters tall by 42 millimeters wide by 25 millimeters wide. If you notice, you've got a black screen here and a black screen here. This is actually just for decoration or just, man, I got fingerprints on this bad. So this is just to hold it, but this is actually your fire button, but it's also your display button. On the bottom, you're gonna have some battery ventilation. It does have an internal battery. It's a 2500 milliamp hour battery. And there's your USB. You've got your down, your up, and your mode button. This is called the mode button. That's so that you can select the different modes that you're in. So to turn it on, you're gonna click it 5 times fast. And then it's gonna say Vaporesso, Beyond the Ordinary. On the front of the screen, you're gonna have your battery indicator. Right now it's in variable wattage normal, which is your vape strength. It does show 60 watts. And it shows your resistance once you have an Addy on there. It's gonna show you your volts. It's gonna show you your puff timer as well as the seconds fired. If you let it time out, it's also got an indication for a clock. You can actually have it in the round clock like this, or you can have it in the digital, which it would only have the numbers. I like looking at the clock because it looks real. So that's what I do. All right, and then what you can do is if you wanna lock the mod, you just click your fire button, which is the whole display 3 times. And if you notice, there's a lock right there. And then to unlock it, 1, 2, 3. Okay, to get into the menu, you're gonna press and hold this mode button right here. And then you're gonna have your menu, which starts with exit. I'm not sure why it starts with it, but it does. Variable wattage normal, or I'm sorry, variable wattage hard, variable wattage normal, variable wattage soft. Then you've got your custom power curve for wattage mode, which I think is awesome. I love using custom curves in wattage mode. I'm not really a temperature girl, but I do love my wattage. So what you can do is you can adjust it here. Once you're done adjusting it, just hit the fire button. It'll be on the next one. Go ahead and adjust that, hit the fire button again, and keep going all the way until you're done. Once you are done, or if you don't want to go the rest of the way, you can press and hold your mode button, it'll get you right here. So it'll show you your selection in custom power curve or custom curve wattage. To get back into the menu, just press and hold your mode button. And then we can go over to Super Play. Super Play is actually for RDAs. And what this does is it actually will bring your resistance. You can use a resistance down, all the way down to 0.03. And it goes all the way up to 5 ohms. So this is like for, I would say for advanced users, I would never recommend this for a beginner or a new vapor or somebody getting into this to actually look into doing that, because it's really not for everyone. So pressing the mode button again, just to get in there. So that's a Super Play. You've also got variable voltage. So if you are one of those that likes to actually vape in voltage, you can actually do it here, and you can change your resistance of your voltage here and then go back into it. Then you've got your custom curve voltage. Yep, you can actually change your curves settings in voltage mode as well. Then you've got your temperature control. We've got stainless steel, nickel, and titanium. If you go into one of them, it's gonna have your TCR settings, so you can actually set your TCR. Being that there is no manual, I don't know if the TCR ranges are gonna be in the manual or not, but if they're not, I do recommend that Vaporesso do put it in there for the type of material that's gonna be used. But this is actually how you would set that. Press OK. If you press the down, this is for your power set. Power set is actually your wattage in temperature control, and it does go up to the full 85 watts. This is an 85 watt mod. To get out of it, just press OK. This is your custom curve for temperature, which is another, I just love custom curve. I love having those options. That's just me. But you would do it the same way and just press your fire button, and you can set all these different ones and just keep going, then press and hold here, and it'll show you that you're in temperature control with the custom curve. So I was in titanium. Then you've got memory 1 and memory 2, which do exactly the same thing. I'll show you memory 2. You've got TCR, you've got your power selection, and then you've also got lock and unlock, which is also in temperature control. I did skip over that. This is actually to lock your resistance in temperature control. So if you want to do it under the nickel, titanium, or stainless steel, you can do it, or you can do it under your memory settings as well. And then just go ahead and press this. Oops, sorry. Press and hold that. Or you could just do that and then get out of it. Sorry about that. Okay, if you press and hold it again, you're gonna get to bypass mode. BP is bypass mode. This makes it an unregulated or like a mech device. This I definitely only recommend for experienced vapors, not for any type of newer vapor. I definitely do not recommend that. And then, thank you. And then the last one is going to be your set. This is where all your personal functions are going to be. You can default it to the system programming. You can set your time. As I was telling you before, you can have it in pointer or you can have it in number. I do like it in pointer, and then you can change your time and date. And the next one is going to be brightness. This is actually the brightest that it gets. It does not get any brighter than this. It is kind of a dim screen because it's kind of tinted, but it's still light. It lights up good in the house. Outside, it's kind of hard to see, to be honest. Press and hold OK. The next one is going to be your puff counter, and you can reset it here. All you do is just move it over here and then press your mode button. That sets it up. And then you've got your theme. Your theme is actually the colors on your screen. You can do orange, green, blue, yellow, red, and exit. And then you can, this right here is your smart wattage recognition. What that means is that any atomizer that you put on here, if you have this turned to on, it's going to guesstimate based off of the resistance of your atomizer or your coil, what the wattage should be at the time that you put it on without you even setting it. You can have this on or you can turn it off. I like it on personally, but that's just me. And then you've got your screen, auto on and off. I always forget this one. This is if you want the mod to automatically shut off after it's been in standby for a certain amount of time. I don't personally like it to do that, so that's just my prerogative. This is your screen timeout. This screen timeout, you can set it anywhere from 3 seconds all the way to 60 minutes. Yes, 60 minutes. Like, you can have that screen stay on for a full 60 minutes if you want to. It is crazy. And all the way down to 3 seconds, which is one of Vaporesso's known features. So that's there. And then, of course, this is going to be your firmware version of the programming. Now, you have to remember, this has the Omni Board 4.0 chip. What that means is that this mod will actually fire in 0.002 seconds. It's literally one of the faster firing mods that I'm aware of. Vaporesso has been doing this with their Omni boards, and now with the Omni 4.0, it does do it in 0.002 seconds. Again, this mod does go from 5 watts to 85 watts. I'm just going to put this back on wattage mode. I like it on normal. So it goes down to 5 and all the way up to 85. And if you notice, it scrolls really quick. Very, very quick. And then if we put an atomizer on here, put the atomizer on here, and it matches it perfectly, which I really, really like. Okay. If you notice, it just set it to 44 watts. And the resistance is reading at a 0.9. It did say that the coil is a 0.18, but it's showing as a 0.19. And then when you fire it, that's when your voltage and your puff counter and your seconds will be showing. So that's it. And you see how fast it is? I literally just touch it and it fires. So yeah, so this is the Taro Baby. So let's go ahead and go on top and we'll talk about it a little bit more and I'll tell you my first. Okay, so here we are back on top with the Taro Baby. And I have to tell you right away, I think that the mod looks really, really cool. I wasn't sure exactly what that was at first until I really looked close at it, but I do like it. It does come in plain colors as well, not just like this. It does come in plain colors. I think it's got a plain stainless steel and some other colors. I can't remember what they are right now, but I will leave the link down below for Vaporesso as well as other places that I've seen it, so I'll leave those links down below. This is a really, really tiny kit. If you're looking for something tiny, or you've ever seen the Taro Nano, this is really, really tiny. I do like it, but being a tiny mod, it holds 4.5 milliliters of e-liquid. So that to me is going to be my first pro. My second pro is an easy navigation menu. The menu on this is super, super easy to navigate. And then another plus, of course, is going to be the clock feature. You know me, I love my clocks. I love, love, love my clocks. Another pro for me, and yes, I'm going after the pros first, is going to be the custom power curves. I love the fact that you can do it in wattage. You can do it in temperature control. You can do it in variable voltage. You can do it in any setting that you want. You can go ahead and have that custom curve. I like using it when it works well, and it always works well on my Vaporesso devices, which is one of the devices that I always use it on. So I do like Vaporesso for that. I love the fact that they do provide it with a kit. So I think that that's awesome. I do like the fact that you can fully charge this in an hour and a half if it's dead. That to me is crazy because it's got a 2 amp charging, and an hour and a half goes by like this. Trust me, especially if you're working, or maybe not if you're working. If you're having fun, it'll go by really, really quick. It's got the 0.002 firing because that 4.0 Omni board, which is it's awesome. But let's go ahead and have a vape so I can show you the vapor production. That's what the mesh coil, and I know exactly what this e-liquid tastes like, and it tastes fantastic in here. I love mesh coils. Mesh coils, to me, taste the most flavorful. Their GTC cell coils, though, I have to say, I've noticed that they last really, really a long time, and you do get decent flavor on them. I'm just a mesh coil kind of girl right now. I'm going through my mesh kick, okay? I'm just going through my mesh kick. So yeah, so it's got the super player mode. Again, that's only if you're using an RDA. But it's not something I personally would use. I like that they provide it. I just, in a kit like this, I don't think that I would ever use a super player mode, to be honest with you. I probably would not go down low in resistance either. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, you can lock your resistance, you can lock the mod, you can go through the menus, you can use custom power curves, you can put your temperature control can be in TCR settings. There's so much that you can do with this little device, and the menus are easy to get to whatever you want to do. So I think that that's awesome. Did I tell you the flavor is really good? The flavor is really, really good. Again, it does hold 4.5 milliliters of e-liquid. They are going to be having the TPD compliance kits as well, which will hold 2 milliliters of e-liquid. To go into the cons, I'm gonna state my cons. My very first con is I don't like the fact that I have to remove the drip tip to swivel this back. That's gonna be my main con on this. I just don't like doing that. Honestly, that's about the only con that I have. Another pro. The fire button is like your select button as well. So like your fire button is your display, and it's kind of cool. So I think that that's great. You don't really have to worry about hitting your buttons because they are kind of like on the bottom. And you don't really touch them when you're firing. You're more firing from this side. So you don't have to worry about that. But other than that, I mean, the flavor is great. It's nice and compact, which a lot of people like compact. It's got an internal battery, so you don't have to worry about carrying batteries. It charges super quick, and it's got the 2-amp charging. It's got all those safety protections that I showed you, and it also has the pass-through charging as well. So you can charge it and vape as long as it's not completely dead. So that's another pro. That's it. That's all I have for my pros. That's it. Great clouds, great flavor for a sub-ohm tank. It really is. Of course, it's not going to be as good as an RDA, but it's very good because of the mesh coil. So I'm going to go ahead and leave all the links and the information down below where you can get this, along with pricing and all that. So if you are interested in it, go ahead and just look below. If you have any questions or comments about this or anything, actually, go ahead and leave that down below, and I will answer them as they come in. And yeah, I guess until the next one.